Hello everybody, this is Franco Baba here, and welcome to a video that nobody expected to happen, but it's happening anyways. And this is a video that, well, like I said, you didn't expect it, but I am making it because of a little something that happened on Twitter. Basically between me, Wildnorwester, and all of his followers. And this happened on Twitter, by the way, so there's that. Now, I'm going to start this video by reading a thread by Mr. Wildnorwester, which is the sort of the thing that sort of started this all in the first place. Now, there is more to behind this thread, but we'll get to that later. I'm going to start out by reading out the thread itself. So some of you may be aware that a particular user has reskinned my models, and that I had his videos featuring them taken down. No reskins is a rule that is agreed to whenever someone downloads a model from my website. It's part of the terms and conditions. Now the user has created a video pretty much attacking me for trying to enforce the rules to which he agreed and protecting my models. Another user has now uploaded and is trying to use this to get more subscriptions for the reskinner. Furthermore, I have 2 emails from the reskinner. In one of them, he tries to use his autism as an excuse for what he did. That's bull. I'm on the spectrum myself, and I'm able to follow basic rules. I had also left comments on his video previously asking him no to reskin my models. His attitude was essentially, screw you, so he had plenty of chances. He could have stopped then, he could have stopped at the first takedown, but no. There are no two sides here. The reskinner broke the rules and suffered the consequences. I'm done with people taking my models for granted. I make these models and share them so other users can use them if they want. I don't need this sort of bull or stress in what is essentially a hobby. Sometimes I wonder why I still do it. So as a result of all this, Mr. Wildnorwester came in and he shut down his website. So as a result of him shutting down his website, I then had this to say. Yeah, don't mind me as I side with the reskinner. People should be allowed to do whatever they want with anything they download from the internet. If people need to modify something to make it their liking, then they should be able to without receiving any message saying no. Imagine if car manufacturers had a recall purely because people made modifications to the manufacturer's created cars. Oh man, I would hate to live in a world like that. As someone who's always making digital modifications to things either to make them not suck or just for fun, this feels like a big screw you to me. It'd be much fairer if the rule was, you are free to modify my models as long as you don't make them publicly available. If you're gonna get all salty about people reskinning your models to the point of shutting down your website, then do us all a favor and delete your account. So after I posted that thread, I did get a few responses from other users. One of those included Wildnorwester himself, so let's read out his responses. First response to my original thread, saying, wow, talk about entitled. I then replied saying, you want to add some reasoning behind your statement? They're my models. As the creator, I get to set the terms and conditions under which they're used. I decided no reskins. I did allow them in the past, on request. Then I saw the results of some such requests. They made my models, with my name on them, look like trash. So what if they look bad? Not everyone is a good reskinner. That doesn't mean you should throw a hissy fit about it. If I were you, I wouldn't give a single darn about it and just move on with my life. Who really cares? Obviously you do, given how determined you seem to be to change my mind. He then replied saying, so it's not just about the models. I built a reputation for quality over the years. Reskins threaten that. Now pay very close attention to the sentence where he says reskins threaten that. Because I then respond to that saying, oh my goodness. Trash reskins threaten your reputation for quality over the years. I'm actually blown away right now. And rightly so. I mean, reskins threatening your reputation for quality. I'm still blown away just reading it right now. And I'll get into more detail about that later. But we still have some comments to read, so let's get to those. Tell a lie, I'm actually going to insert this bit here because I had some more thoughts today about this comment here, and I think that Wildnorwester's comment here was just written out really poorly. Like, this honestly reminds me of that Toyota incident where, well, you can see it on screen here. You know, it's like, it would have been much better if Wildnorwester would have, you know, really used his 2 cents here and just said something that was like actually, you know, actually makes sense, and not just the fact that reskins threaten the fact that, you know, he's built a reputation for quality over the years. What? Doesn't make much sense to me, to be honest. You know. Anyway, moving on. So after he quoted my tweet, I then received about 1,000,000 replies to my thread that I made. And a lot of the replies I got were just really stupid, I will say. So stupid to the point of the fact that this is the reason why this video exists in the first place, just to show off the stupidity of these people. Now, I'm not going to respond to every single reply that I got, because half of them are just effortless replies with either a reaction photo or a GIF. So, I'm only going to be responding to the replies that actually tried to make a point, just to filter out all the stupidest of the stupidest, so we can at least give a mention to those who at least tried to make a point. I mean, a lot of them failed, but they at least tried. So let's get into those. So this first picture I have here is pretty much some replies to Wildnorwester tweet. One guy saying, "Simple, they're his models. He's allowed to do what he wants with them. He doesn't mind assets being replaced, but the reskins are not on the table for him." Why though? What is so bad about reskins? That I don't understand. Because essentially, what Wildnorwester has done is that he's gotten really salty about people reskinning his models. Now, I know, and I fully understand, that Wildnorwester has a rule for his models, whereas you can't make reskins for them. But, why, though? I don't understand at all. And I'll talk more about that later. And beneath that, we just have a couple other comments saying, "I agree, I'm on Wildnorwester's side. Wildnorwester's in the right here. They are his models, so what he says goes. He created them after all." Pretty much a couple of replies just sticking by Wildnorwester's side, because I bet you that a couple of, either young teenagers or kids who can't make up their mind, and they're essentially just sheep. So now we're going to get into the first comment that was officially replying to my thread. "Yeah, but like, no one wants to see a hot pink with red stripe parent tank engine that came from all someone took a long while to make." I then respond to this saying, "Well, no, of course not, but we shouldn't get all salty about it, especially if it's not publicly available to download as an asset." "Yeah, Chief, but like, the reason we get salty is the fact that someone works on a model for a long time, and then someone gets it and turns it into some glorious masterpiece. It's true people should do what they want, but there's obviously some rules behind it, so it can be fair to all." I then responded saying, "I don't get why we should get so salty though. The fact that someone worked on something for so long only for it to be badly butchered doesn't do it for me. Someone works on something for a long time, and people respect the trials and tribulations that person had to have gone through to get the model looking good. Then someone takes it and paints it to hot pink, paints red stripes, and calls it his work. That ain't exactly nice." See, now the calling it his own work and making it publicly available part is what everyone should be mad about. Everything else is invalid. He then responds saying, "So what you're saying is you're gonna let this guy, even though he reskinned the model, despite the fact that the guy who made the model specifically said not to do it for a good reason, that I tried to bring you just now. Let's just say that yes, he can make any modifications to the models that he wants, but putting those modified models up for download is where I draw the line." See, now it seems that people, just like Wildnorwester, are throwing a hissy fit over the fact that, this one guy made a reskin of the models or something. But beyond that, just that alone doesn't, really do it for me, like I said myself. But apparently this guy put the models up for download. Now, that I agree. That is illegal, or should be illegal, and it shouldn't be done, and it's just plain wrong. But I'll elaborate that again later. "Stop it, you shouldn't do that with any models." Well, let's just say that I myself have made a few reskins of some models in Train Simulator, and have never gotten shot down for it. So it's like, what's the problem? I don't get it. "Dang, don't even have a good reaction image. You really just suck, dude." I like how you can't put any effort into really criticizing my tweet and you just say the most pathetic thing ever. Come on, man. You can do better than that. This one, of course, is an image, and I decided to show it because it's like, what are those faces on those steam engines? Yeah, PR reformer, yeah. You're a bit of a disgrace to the Pennsylvania Railroad, I might add. "Sir, people post stuff on the internet, especially free items, entitles them to set rules on what can be done. If the items take several hours, days, it's a general rule to not mess with unless you are totally, explicitly allowed." Well, yes, if you are to post free stuff to the internet, then you can set rules. However, if you are going to set those rules, I would suggest that you make the rules in question to be actual rules and not just silly rules that you came up with, because either, you were uncreative and you come up with the rule properly, or you just want to come up with a really stupid rule because, you're full of yourself, or you have a big ego, or whatever. Just, if you're gonna set rules for something that you're gonna put for free or for download, make sure the rules at least make sense and none are just completely nonsensical, like, no reskinning allowed because reasons! I like how you're trying to defend someone who clearly stated they don't want their models reskinned and released to the public. Wildnorwester clearly stated he doesn't want his models reskinned. So instead of acting like a child, you should respect his decision and move on. Simple as that. I then respond saying, you all act like everything is so simple. Well, it's not as simple as that. It's much more complicated, actually. No, it's not, Lamau. You need to follow the rules and respect the creator's wishes. It's actually quite simple. Y'all just don't respect the creator. Well, yeah, we don't respect the creator. Because his rules are a bit stupid, don't you think? And, again, it's not that simple. In fact, I could go into greater detail about it. In fact, I will. You see, well, I already have, to be honest. You don't make stupid rules. If you're gonna make rules, make sure the rules at least make sense. Imagine being this stupid. Yeah, imagine being stupid. Just like pretty much everyone that replied to my original thread. I mean, come on. So does that mean it's okay for people to start doing stuff like stealing music that people have worked their bums off on and claiming as their own? Is that red in your eyes? Well, in fairness, no. See, if you're gonna steal something and claim it as your own, see, now that is where I draw the line. That, I agree, should be illegal and should not be done and is wrong to do. Now, if all you guys had just said that in the first place, then, funnily enough, this video wouldn't need to exist and I would not have had to read out your stupidity. But this video does exist, so you're the ones that caused it happen, okay? So, yeah, there you go. This thread is filled with so much salt/replies that I don't know who the heck should I side with. Honestly, I wouldn't side with anyone. I don't think anybody's in the right here, I don't think that the reskinner's in the right because, I guess he uploaded his model without someone's permission. I don't think Wildnorwester's in the right because he shut down his website because he was salty about someone making a reskin and da-da-da-da-da. And, well, if you want to side with me, then that's your choice. But if you don't want to side with me, then fine. I'm just making this video just to point out everyone's stupidity. The gimme pig mentality you have is astounding. No, that's not how this works. Someone puts their work on the web, they have control over who gets to use it and modify it. The way the reskinner responded was immature and very selfish. It's people like you two who ruin talented individuals' portfolios and their experience online. You don't walk into someone's house, grab an item of theirs, and claim it as yours, and use it how you please. The same principles apply here. Responding this way only furthers Wildnorwester's justification for pulling his models. I mean, I suppose, but I think your argument here is flawed when you get to the part of you don't walk into someone's house, grab an item of theirs, and claim it as yours, and use it how you please. See, now that, I guess, would be considered theft, and I agree it's not a good thing. However, on the internet, it's a bit different. See, well, let's just say, if you were to download somebody else's content and just modify it, but you don't put up for download, make it publicly available, or claim it as your own, you just make it, and it's like, who really cares? But, again, if you were to modify it and claim it as your own, see, now that is where I draw a line. That I agree is cruel, but the part of just purely reskinning it and stuff like that, that I think should be completely allowed, and there's no reason why we should be salty about it. It's just stupid. That's why I'm making this video, as a matter of fact. Yeah, you can mess around with something someone else made after they told you not to. I mean, you should be able to, as long as I guess you don't claim it as your own. I mean, if you just say that you modified it, but it's not your original model, that I completely allow, and I think that should be completely legal, and no one should get salty over it. I mean, well, yeah, again, nobody should get salty over it. It's just some modifications, Kid, get your bum off Twitter, and don't make me laugh, you silly sausage. Well, that's mature. Shut up, you entitled silly sausage. It's because of idiots like you, we can't have nice things. Because of you, Daniel shut down a site meaning no one can ever download stuff again, and it's all thanks to you. You have ruined everything for everyone else. Why? Because you had to be a selfish sausage. You had no right to reskin Daniel's stuff. He asked you to stop, but he didn't. Because you're autistic. Screw you. I'm autistic too, but I know the world does not revolve around me. Go poo in the bin like the garbage that you are. I never did anything to Daniel's stuff, lol. I only added my thinking. Then make yourself useful and forward this to the guy who did reskin his stuff, seeing you're being so kind to protect him. I mean, I was kind of protect him. That was until I found out more information about the fact that he apparently claimed that the 105 model was his own. But, you know, I'm not the one who specifically caused Wildnorwester to sit down. I just added my thinking, like I said myself. You clearly don't understand how trains work. Do your research before you open your mouth, you simpleton. Haha, that's why I played Train Simulator 2020. Much better game. Joke's on you. The rules still apply to all simulators. If you actually read the copyright law, you get your head out of your own bum. I mean, yeah, copyright laws are copyright laws, but, you know, I don't think we should follow the stupid laws. I think if a law is stupid, we should break it so we please, you know, unless it's to the point where things become so, I guess, heated about it, you could say, I guess. For God's sake, silly sausages, like you still haven't learned from SI3D. I'll ball on that later. I just wanted to put that in here because reasons. So these here are just some stupid comments that I had, and I decided to group them together because they're all pretty much just the same thing. But they're stupid. Bro, that's just stupid. You're an idiot. Congrats! You get the biggest idiot award. You're so stupid that Neanderthals are smarter than you. I don't even know what that is. You entitled brat. How about instead of using someone else's artwork for your OCs and reskins, make them all yourself, you egotistical silly sausage. Yeah. Can you not get it through your thick skull? Those are his models. He had one rule and it was not to reskin them. That rule was broken and now he has retracted his models. It's people like you that ruin the fun of trains. Well, yeah, people can ruin the fun of trains, but that's if the creator himself is someone who just can't handle his models being modified. And then, you know, I mean, Wildnorwester, he honestly did need to shut down his website. He could have kept his website up, and at the same time, he could have, you know, tried to shoot down the guy who decided to modify his OC or the models, I should say. And even then, I wouldn't go super ballistic about it, even if the person in question modified them all and claim it as their own. Now that's cruel, but that still wouldn't be a good reason to sort of go ballistic about it. See, I guess the ultimate point where I draw the line is where someone modifies somebody else's model, claims it as their own, and then re-uploads it for the internet to download for themselves. I guess that's where we want to draw the line here. There are rules set in place, and if you don't like it, clearly you don't care for people around you. Actions have consequences. That doesn't mean that every rule is fair, though. Point invalid. No, rules are there because people work hard on content in this community, so until you model something, your point doesn't matter. To use modelers, so cut the crud. Well, okay, I've never modeled anything, but I have, you know, taken models in particular and I modified them, specifically, you know, some models of trains and Train Simulator 2020, because of course I don't play trains, but I do play Train Simulator, and I have made many modifications to a lot of things since 2016, as a matter of fact. So, and yeah, a long time, and then I actually have improved over the years. Heck, the modifications I've made, I've even uploaded them so you can download them for whatever particular train the mod is for. But at least on the very minimum, I didn't re-upload the train itself that I modified, so I'm still under the law of... I'm not sure, to be honest, but you get my point. He put these out for free with the one rule being don't reskin them. One rule that plenty of people have broken. Y'all had one condition and you broke it. This is what happens when you can't follow the rules put in place by the person providing these models for you to use. Because it's a stupid rule. It's no wonder plenty of people have broken it. Okay, before we continue, please tell me why you think it's stupid that him asking people not to reskin models he had put a lot of hard work into and is releasing for people to use with that one condition. Okay, it's stupid because people should at the very minimum be able to reskin the models and use it for their own use. See now, if at the very minimum, I think Wildnorwester should be okay with people reskinning his models and then them using the reskin models privately. I certainly wouldn't throw a hissy fit about that if, you know, if I made a model and then somebody came in and reskinned it but kept it for themselves. That I would be totally fine with and would have absolutely no issues with. Now, like I said earlier, where I draw the line is to the point where they claim that the model of their own is them and they made it from the ground up. But I guess even then, I wouldn't get all ballistic about it. Like I said, the where I absolutely draw the line is the point where you put up for download and you don't credit the original creator. So, that's where I draw the line. That's what you guys have to get here. That's why I'm making this video, so I can prove to you guys that I'm not as stupid as you all think. In fact, I'd say that a lot. You guys are the stupid ones. You're taking the side of a kid who's been reskinning models that another person worked on. Imagine if you worked on modeling something only to have it taken and then reskinned with no effort while you put a lot of effort into the model. It would suck, wouldn't it? No, it wouldn't suck, actually. I don't think you understand the point I'm trying to make here. I do. Your point is stupid. My point is stupid? Dude, Wildnorwester worked dang hard on those models, yet people are reskinning them and claiming it as their own. I don't think you know how hard Wildnorwester worked on those models. People are risking them and claiming it as their own? No one told me that in the midst of the stupidity. See, now that I would be upset about. Yeah, as you tell, I was so heated there, I capitalized that twice. It just shows, doesn't it? Yes, it's true, but whether or not they did claim it as their own, it still really mean that people are risking Wildnorwester's wall that they put tons of effort into. See, now, again, I wouldn't call it mean that they just purely reskinning it, but now, if someone had told me, like I said myself, that people are reskinning them and claiming it as their own, well, I guess even then, well, I've already said in the video, I'm just repeating myself at this point. Next comment, okay? Dude, if you make a bunch of art and people painted it all over it and called it something else, would you be happy? I wouldn't be happy about it, but I wouldn't be upset about it either. Care to explain why you wouldn't be upset? Here's the thing, if someone makes a rubbish modification to anything that I would make that is digital, but doesn't screw up the original version, why should I care? It's still defacing something that you made. Defacing? What? Oh my lord, ruining an image, defacing. I mean, yes, if you were to take a piece of art and modify that into something that is rubbish, then yeah, that would be ruining an image. But at the same time, I wouldn't get all upset about it. Although, funnily enough, see, if it was like an actual painting that I'd actually painted on a, what's it called, a palette, I guess, and somebody would have paint over it and ruin it, and there was no copy of the original, then I would be absolutely furious. But I wouldn't be furious, however, if I had my own original version and there would be a copy of the original version of the art that someone could modify and screw it all up. See, now, of course, the person, would take that piece of art, modify it, make it rubbish, but I wouldn't get super upset about it because I'd still have the original. So, there's that. Sorry, you missed the Soto Circus. They moved to the mainland. I like how so many people made a meme if I was a clown. Of course, I've left most of those out because they're either just emojis or pictures or GIFs or stuff like that, so I just left those out because they're just effortless, and I want some effort, gosh darn it! For example, this guy here actually put in some effort, hence why I'm showing his comment off in this video. Dislike emoji. Never mind, your response here makes me laugh and is worthy of a read out. Yeah, funny enough, this guy here, or girl here, I'm not sure if it's a guy or a girl based on the account. Yeah, originally, they wanted to be featured on the video, but I of course said myself, they didn't even add anything, but then they did add a little something, so hey, I mean, this guy, girl, whatever it is, didn't really say anything stupid, but I'm just playing the video because funsies, I guess, so here you go. You're famous now, I guess. Do it. You won't. Well, I'm clearly doing it right now, as you can see right here with this video. You know it exists, you're watching it, so I did it. Lol, okay, it's just gonna get a dislike bomb or everyone's gonna like it because of how bad it is. Oh yeah, we'll get dislike bombed by all the sheep out there, but do I care? No. Your argument is so invalid, it's sad. If they download it from the internet, they should be able to do what they want with it. It's one thing to fix a missing dependency, it's a whole different thing to reskin it. No, those two are actually exactly the same thing. It's different to upload without permission. So basically what you're saying is you support breaking the terms of service of things because I downloaded it online. It's like saying downloading cheats on a game is okay because it's online. Strange that you replied to the 2 tweets that weren't an argument and ignore mine. Wonder why. I've only received 10 million tweets today. Give me a break. Yeah, totally. No, seriously, I have. Plus, I plan to respond to all the arguments in my upcoming video about this. At least that's right now. But I'm actually going to go back to his previous comments saying, so basically what you're saying is you support breaking terms of service because I download online. It's like saying download some games because, okay, so basically, first up, you support breaking terms of service things because I download online. Well, again, if it's your own download and you're not, you know, I guess re-uploading as your own thing, then it's not really breaking terms of service, or at least I wouldn't get salty about it, I suppose, but I've already said it myself in this video, so I really don't need to say it again. It's like saying downloading cheats on a game is okay because it's online. No, I don't think so. I think that downloading cheats on a game is okay because online is actually a completely different thing from this, and I don't even know what this has to do with downloading cheats on a game. Especially if it's a single player game. See, if it's a multiplayer game, then I guess that can be a bad thing. But it's a single player, it's like, who cares? Honestly. You have walnut brain! That's funny. Thank you! I was trying to be, but you are genuinely stupid! Care to explain how I'm genuinely stupid? I mean, I'm only just adding my thoughts to these things, and I guess the only real stupid part with me in this is the fact that I guess I maybe didn't know about the fact that the guy who reskinned the model claimed it as his own and stuff like that, but other than that, I'm not really in the wrong in this situation, to be honest. So, you think that people should be allowed to download whatever they want, even going as far as to illegally download music and movies from the internet. Music and movie that people put a lot of time and effort into and got paid for. That's piracy you're talking about. That can get you into some serious trouble, young man. The same goes with Wildnorwester's models. Just because he allowed people to download them doesn't mean that your friend had the right to reskin them. Because of him, you have to remove all of his models to stop him from doing that. I respond saying, if you want to prevent piracy, then just provide a service that is better than the pirates. Ahoy! Take that back! Why? I'm only saying true words. And I was. If you're so against piracy, then just provide a service that's better than the pirates. That's the #1 way to prevent piracy. Again, providing a service that is better than the pirates. And that's every single stupid comment I received from the tweet. Now, of course, this isn't every single one. It's just the ones that try to put in some effort. Now, some of them were pretty similar, but, you know, I decided to screenshot as many comments as I could just to have some form of ridiculous. But I guess, you know, they did get a bit samey after a while. But, oh, I did what I could. So now this is a part of the video that I'm inserting right now because after a little while I started to receive some comments that I actually thought were quite decent. So I'm going to read those out right now. I only side with the reskinners because it's pathetic that people have to remove models over a recolor or modifying something. It's not illegal, and the fact that people get so annoyed off by it shows why we are still laughing stock on the internet. Thank you, sir. Finally, someone with some actual brains here. Even though they didn't fully understand what was going on, you know, they at least didn't say anything that was stupid, it's just something that was actually somewhat agreeable.
Disgraceful, mumbled Gordon.
Disgusting,
Said James.
despicable, spluttered Henry.
This person said I have got my tweet saying, imagine if car manufacturers had to recall purely because people make modifications to the manufacturers create cars. Oh man, I would hate to live in a world like that. As someone who's always making digital modifications to things, either to make them not suck or just for fun. It's different because if you buy a car from a manufacturer, you're entitled to do what you like with it because it's now your property. If you download any, and I mean any model for trains, it's different because you can have the model, but that does not mean the model is fully yours. You can use it, but you can't modify it. A better example for your logic would have been if you rent a car, you are supposed to give it back to the dealership as the dealer gave it to you. And if your rented car needs any modifications, you ask the dealership to make them. Okay, so this guy actually tried to make a decent point. So now we're going to reread his post bit by bit and respond to each individual part of this. It's different. If you buy a car from a manufacturer, you're entitled to do with what you like because it's now your property. Yes, agreeable. If you buy a car, you should be allowed to do whatever you want with it. If you download any, and I mean any model for trains, it's different because you can have the model. But that does not mean the model is fully yours. Now that I can't agree with, because if you do download a model for trains or any train simulator in general, then the model is technically yours. I mean, it's not entirely yours, but it's yours to mess about with. Because the model that you downloaded, you now have a digital copy of. that you can make whatever modifications you want to it. I mean, isn't that just fair? I don't see what's so bad about modifying a copy, a digital copy, or a copy in general of something that you have that's not the original. You can use it, but you can't modify it. I literally just said that you could, so nothing new to add there. A better example for logic would have been if you rent a car, you are supposed to give it back to the dealership as the dealer gave it to you, and if your rented car needs any modifications, as the dealership to make them. Now this, I can agree with. However, my original analogy still stands, for reasons that you should already know. If you don't know it, then, well, just leave in the comments and I can reply to you whenever I get around to it. And finally, we have another pretty decent point from Mr. Brennan Productions here. Dude, you didn't pour your time, effort, and usually heart into the model. Of course you can't just do what you want. It's like taking someone's money, they worked hard to get it, and you don't have any right to do anything with it without permission from the person who put the work in. Again, we're going to reread this one bit by bit just so we can respond to each and every single piece of this. Dude, you didn't pour your time, effort, and usually heart into the model. Of course you can't just do what you want. Well, it doesn't matter how many man hours that someone put into a model, we should still be able to modify it to our own physical copy, physical or digital copy of it. So, there's that. It's like taking someone's money, they worked hard to get it, and you don't have the right to do anything without permission from the person who put the work in. Well, no, money is completely different from something that is digital, I suppose, because if you were to do something with someone else's money that they didn't ask you to do, then yeah, that would be a bit cruel because, you know, money is money and it's a very valuable thing these days, and if we lose it or if we overspend it, then it can have some severe consequences. But it's not the same as modifying someone else's model in trains or whatever game in general, because, you know, you're modifying the model, but there's nothing really cruel about that, to be honest. It's just modifying a model. What else do you want me to add here? Honestly, I'm not really understanding the point of why it's such a bad thing. I mean, yeah, there's a rule that states for you to not reskin Wildnorwester's models, but, you know, like I said earlier in the video, you know, not every rule makes sense, and I feel like we should be allowed to break a rule that we think is stupid. That's a prime example of a stupid rule. So after considerable amount of time, my thread actually managed to catch the attention of Shunter Productions. Now, Shunter Productions, he's actually has a pretty decent following on YouTube. I think he has about 13,000 subscribers, and he makes his own Thomas content. So his responses were quite interesting, and we should read those out right now. It's sickening that some people in the fandom use their autism or Asperger's as an excuse for their actions. I respond to this saying, finally, something that I can actually agree with. Take notes, kids. He then said, of course someone had to run to the defense of this little self-entitled thief who had used his autism as an excuse for his actions. Many of the worst members of the fandom seem to hide behind their illness when they are called out. This kid is an intellectual thief. I respond to this saying, a thief? Elaborate please. Ali Jimmy would like to know more. And then he left one more comment. I wonder if one day this guy breaks the law and has to face a judge, he would say, but I have autism, your honor. I respond to this saying, lol, I will laugh at that so hard. Now, Shunter Productions, he was actually making some pretty intelligent points, and I actually agreed with everything that he was saying. And he had me for a little while. But then, he blocked me. Yeah. Shunter Productions, why? I didn't say anything to offend you, I only respond to your tweets. In fact, I even asked you to respond to my tweets, and you didn't, and then you just blocked me. Come on, Shunter Productions, you had me, and then you lost me. I thought you were better than that. Come on, you have to. It's like, come on, man. I don't know. I really feel like Shunter Productions really messed up with this. I mean, again, he had me, and then he blocked me, and that's when he lost me. It's like, you know, if he had not blocked me and he actually responded to me in some proper fashion, then he would have kept my respect. But no, he just blocks me for seemingly no reason, or just because I had something to say about his tweets, and it's like, why? Yeah. So Shunter Productions, I used to watch content back in the day, and I don't think I'll be watching any more of his content because he's lost my respect. And all I had to do was not block me, but he blocked me, so that's on him. Okay, so we're nearing the end of the comments, and I know that most of this video has been filled with stupidity and saltagy and a bunch of other stuff, However, in the midst of all stupidity, there were a few comments that were legitimately intelligent. Now, the first intelligent comment comes from Kelvin the E2, and I'm giving him a shout out because he actually gave me some information that was actually helpful. So I'm going to read those right now. Dude, do you even know what the heck is going on? Yes and no, but I do plan to do some research into what led Wildnorwester to shut down his website. I'll tell you, Trainsmania and Nick did it, but it wasn't Nick's fault because he didn't know. It was Trainsmania's fault for reskinning a lot of Wildnorwester's content. So blame Trainsmania, not Nick. Yes, he did reskin a lot of Wildnorwester's content, but some also say that someone re-uploaded the reskin content and claimed it as their own creation, made it from the ground up. But I need to be sure. That's the problem. He claims it as his own and he used autism to back it up. Is it true that he made it publicly available to download, or was it just seen in screenshots or videos, and he acted like he made them all himself? Unfortunately, I didn't receive any more responses from Kelvin after that, which is a bit of a shame. I kind of wish he would have gone into great detail about it, but I guess we know more. And then some more intelligence comments came from Westy, the little Western, who, again, actually bought to leave some intelligent comments and actually helped on the situation. This is why SI3D is gone. Because someone messed around with SI3D's models and uploaded them without permission or something? I'm slightly confused as I don't exactly know why SI3D is shut down. Elaborate, please. Yes, exactly that. That's like taking my art and changing the colors and reposting it. That's not okay. If they don't want people to do that, you don't do it. Good point. So finally, after all the stupidity, we finally got a comment that was actually helpful, made my life easier. So thank you, Westy and the Bluey too, I think your name was, for actually helping me out with getting more information. So, and I pretty much said throughout the video, I guess Trainsmania and Nick did it, but you know, they came in, or Trainsmania specifically came in and took one of West's models, reskinned it, and claimed it as his own. And I guess must have put up for download or something. So that's pretty much all the comments I want to read out today, and I don't have any more. But before I end off the video, I'm going to say a few more things. So, if you didn't get it already, basically what happened is that a guy called Trainsmania came in, took Wildnorwester's content, reskinned it, claimed it as his own, and I guess must have put up for download. Wildnorwester didn't like this at all, and he pretty much shut down his website, and now Wildnorwester's models are no longer available to download, and he's probably not going to put them up for download anytime soon. So you're probably wondering, Frony, do you side with Wildnorwester or Trainsmania, or do you side with yourself? Well, I honestly don't think that either parties, you know, like, I don't support either parties here, because what Trainsmania, I guess, wasn't right, where he just took the model, claimed it as his own, and I guess put up for down something. However, I don't think that Wildnorwester is in the right either, because despite the fact that, you know, people come in, take his models that he put several hours of effort into, modified them, and then claimed it as his own, and I guess put up for down something, you know, I still wouldn't, you know, make that into a reason to shut down, you know, website. Like, say, if I ran a website like Wildnorwester, where a lot of my stuff was up for download, and that somebody came in and did what Trainsmania did, I still wouldn't take my website down. I would just fight it for a while, and if I can't, you know, get my way, then I would just stop caring, ignore it, and just move on my life. It's just, I just don't see a reason to care about people who just butcher other people's stuff and claim it as their own and then put up for a download. It's just, I don't know. But I guess it's down to personal preference, you know. Wildnorwester didn't like it, but I just wouldn't care for it. One more thing I want to say, though, is that I am a person who likes to form their own opinion. I'm not like I'm not like all of these stupid kids who just live so responsibly, just agree to everything. I'm not a sheep, and nobody is my sheepdog. I have my own opinion, and I'll say whatever the heck I want on the internet, provided I think it's right, or it's silly, or whatever. I pretty much just say whatever I want on the internet at this point. So, if you guys think that anything that I say is wrong, the absolute least you can do is leave a reply to whatever I say with a comment that is actually mature. You know, I don't appreciate all of these stupid comments of like GIFs and photos saying, you know, just, again, just at the very minimum, say stuff that's mature. Don't make yourself look stupid, and most importantly, don't just block me just because, you know, you got triggered by something you said, unless you're really that much of a sissy to the point where you really can't take my existence, and you must absolutely block me because either you're dense or you're stupid or whatever, you know. It's just unwarranted, and I only really appreciate the smart comments that actually try to make a point. But that just about does it. I've read every single stupid comment that I had a screenshot of. I really don't know what else to add to this whole situation. I guess bottom line is, screw Wildnorwester, screw Transmedia and those who cause this Wildnorwester website shut down, and screw everyone who just follows Wildnorwester and just does whatever they think is appropriate to impress their god, I guess you might say. You know, so yeah, I guess that just goes to show that Thomas and France fandom is, I guess, not the nicest fandom out there. So there's that. Yeah, really not much else I can say. I guess if you want my thoughts on anything else, just put in the comment section of this video. And this video has gone to be a little much longer than I originally thought it would be. So I guess that's gonna be it for this video. A bit of a different sort of video, but I promise you that more normal content will be returning eventually. But I do, though, get a bit of an enjoyment out of reading, you know, stupid comments and stuff like that, and this tweet just blew up to much more than I originally thought, and I'm becoming a bit delusional now, to be honest. You know, I've been sitting here for the past amount of time making this video, and I think now it's time to end. So I pretty much said everything I need to say. I think I have. Again, if I missed off anything or there's anything else you want my thoughts on, just leave in the comments down below, and I'll respond to you as soon as possible. With that being said, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video.